Hey, you guys. I'm going to put this. This is going to be a very telling transparency video for myself, right? And when you do things, when you speak from a place of honesty, it's going to be triggering. So I'm just letting you guys know you will probably be triggered within this video someplace, okay? So let me just share some things with you guys. I have always been very powerful. And thinking back over my life, there were a lot of situations, um, money, people, whatever, that I manifested literally. Like, I literally manifested it. And at that time, because I wasn't in alignment, I didn't realize that I was manifesting. Okay. Um, a powerful manifester that was close to me was my grandmother and my grandfather, but I'm gonna talk about them more in detail in another video. In 2019, and sometime before, no, you know what, years before that, I wanted an Audi. I always wanted an Audi. I would pass the Audi dealerships, and I wanted an Audi, right? So this video won't be super long. I got my Audi in 2020 of July, the beginning of July of 2020. Now, months prior to that, I was saving, right? I had moved into an apartment March of 2019. Early 2020 is when I really started putting money up to buy a car because I wasn't a driver. I was always codependent on people driving me. And be honest, there were certain people in my life that looked forward to like being that, and you already know what types of people those were. So I didn't drive, right? So in the beginning of 2020 is when I started saving. Now, I was really being diligent about finding a car, right? I didn't have enough money to get the kind of car that I really wanted. And I kind of like was in this energy of like settling, if that makes sense. Like I was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to just get whatever I need because, I'm going to get me a car. And as I was looking for the car, like I said, I didn't have enough. The cars that I was looking at, I didn't have enough money. Lo and behold, something came across where I was able to, I got a nice little chunk of money. Okay. A nice little chunk of money. So I was able to buy my Audi. Now, the city that I wanted to move in, also, I wanted to move out of that apartment. It was just me and my son living. My daughter would come back and forth, but she wasn't living with us at the time. So there was a particular city that I wanted to move in. August of 2020 is when I moved into the apartment. So I was in a very high vibration of manifesting, right? Those are just two examples of manifestation. I have manifested. There was a time in 2019 where I manifested a soulmate to come back into my life. I'm talking about within hours, this person came into my life. And it wasn't like, oh, I want this person to come in. I just was manifesting a connection, like a sincere connection with a masculine. And this person, at that time, I wasn't, this person came into my life. In July of 2021, not even a year after I moved into my place, I knew I needed to move out of the apartment. This was another apartment, mind you, right? I moved into the city I wanted to move in. 2021 of July is when I knew I had to move out. Like the energy with the landlord, the owner of the property, because I was staying in a fourplex, her energy really got fucked up. I mean, really, like, I've had so many situations, I'm going to talk about it, like, where people just literally drastically switched up on me. And the beginning of October 2021, so I put my 90-day notice in, right? I had to put a 90-day notice. In October of 2021 is when me and my son literally moved out of that place. And I love that place. It was perfect for us. I've done tons of video. I did a lot of videos in that place. I love that place, okay? At that particular time, because my faith was really developing in a way, I mean, not to say it wasn't there at all, but it was developing in a way where I moved in a way where people were starting to really, it was bothersome to them and it was triggering them. Like, you're moving and you don't have a place to live. And immediately after we left, I put my stuff in storage and we moved to a hotel. from October 21 to now, March 29th, 2023, I have been living without my own place. And I have been in situations where every person that I've lived with has been triggered by me. I had to do intense shadow work in those situations. And I saw them for who they were. So in other words, I was talking to somebody. I was sharing this with a person the other day. I was saying, I don't care how kind you are to me. I don't care how giving you are to me. I don't care what you try to say. I don't care if you book me up the ass like oh, I need a session. I'm going to see you for who you are. And every person I have lived with has been triggered by a couple of things. One, that I trust myself and my path so much that my decisions aren't based on the way that the world makes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like how people are conditioned to make decisions. Two, the fact that my son is not in traditional school. I homeschool him. Three, the fact that my son is with me all the time. That has triggered people. I don't understand it, overstand it, but it triggers people. The fact that they, that my son, I was going to say something insulting, but the fact that my son is with me, that triggers people. And the fact that I don't have a job. In January 2022, and I'm being straight the hell up with y'all, I sold my car. So from January 22, my car was having some major issues, and because I bought the car used. Now, mind you, I bought it in 2020, and in 2022 is when I had to sell my car because it had some major issues, and it was like some weird stuff was going on, and I had to sell the car. I had to sell it. I have been without a car. I'm being straight up to the point where something happened today. Something happened. I was staying at an Airbnb, and the host of this Airbnb felt like it was on her to tell me that I wasn't being a good mom because my son is not in school, this and that and third. Let me tell you something, and I've said this before. You don't get to tell me what the fuck I should be doing with my life because you are not the dictator of my journey. Every single person that has tried to tell me about themselves, I know hasn't done the appropriate amount of shadow work. That's why I trigger you, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So you feel it's in your best interest or my best interest to tell me what I should be doing or shouldn't be doing or how I should be living my life or how I'm messing up. And even the people who are too cowardly to come and tell me directly how they feel, they talk behind my back. And I know these people and I know them very well. And they try to pretend like they're this whatever in my life and not knowing and really not showing up for themselves, not realizing that intuitively I already see through you. My inner compass is intact. And I'm not sitting on here to be boastful. That's why I said this was going to be a trigger warning video. I'm not sitting up on this thing trying to be all boastful and whatever. But I'm confident in myself. That situation earlier with that person coming at me to the point they wanted me to go there. And I said some things to them. I didn't go all the way in because I don't need to do that no more. I don't. But what I gathered today, in the midst of me brushing my teeth, when that water was running, because that water is always something tied in with downloads, is that I have been drawn to people who have judged me harshly because I need to stop judging myself so harshly. I have been judgmental with myself. I have been hard on myself to an extent. And it has not allowed me to completely fly and flow the way I really need to, even though I've been doing it, but not completely the way I need to. That's what came to me today. And I have been hiding myself. And and part of the reason why I'm seeing this judgment is because there are so many times where I wanted to be transparent, but I was worried about certain things. Like, okay, I don't want to say this. I know I'm showing up as myself. People recognize this, but I want to be a little held back on certain things. I don't care. Not to say I didn't care before, but I really don't care. Because I show up, like I said on a post that I made on Facebook, I'm respectful. I'm considerate, and I'm full of love. That's one thing that's never going to change. It doesn't matter what happens in my life. I'm always going to be like that. Considerate, respectful, and full of love. And even in those toxic moments within myself, when I'm operating in toxicity or when another person is projecting on me, I'm going to still be with all three of those. I'm going to still rock with respect, consideration, and love. I hope that this is going to be helpful to somebody. I'm sharing more of myself because I wanted to help you guys. I want you guys to stand more in your power. There are people who I've also met along this path who has showed me how freeing and liberating it is to completely surrender to being yourself. And I encourage anyone who is having issues or of condemning themselves and being hard on themselves, stand in your damn righteousness. Stand in your divinity, whether you are a masculine or a feminine, it don't even matter. Be yourself all day, every day. I love you guys. Peace.